The girl knew that if she continued to sit still and wait for the murderers below to catch up, he could not imagine how she would be treated. The girl bit through her mountaineering bag, then slowly pulled out the thin wire from the gap, straightened it with force, then bent the end of the wire, and then slowly moved her trembling feet, lying on the 90-degree vertical cliff in a very comical posture. Then he stretched out the prepared thin wire and tried to hook the climbing rope 2 meters away. At this time, the girl in the abyss moved a little and was like walking on thin ice. Fortunately, his hard work was not in vain, and the end of the thin wire finally hung on the rope. But he did not take it lightly, still cautious, slowly shrinking the wire in his hand. After 2.5 minutes passed, the girl finally grabbed the foot of the climbing rope. However, this was only the first step to whether he could survive. After grasping the climbing rope fixed on the cliff, he began to have an unstable, shaking body. The girl tried to use her inertia to throw herself to the bulge on the other side of the cliff, but the crisis still existed. Looking at the endless ground and the tent left by the seniors above, she suddenly had a good idea. After that, using the climbing skills she learned, the girl began to approach the tent hanging in the air step by step. At this time, he was like an animal that had not yet fully deteriorated, and then he exerted his limbs and finally landed on a large raised rock. But at this moment, the 3 murderers had arrived directly above him and immediately began to search everywhere for the girl hanging on the cliff. Although there was a big rock covering it up, the man immediately realized that the girl was hiding under him after, calculating the time, knowing that he had exposed the girl and had no intention of climbing up. However, the man above still chatted, saying that as long as he handed over the evidence of the 3 murderers, he would give the girl a way to live. After saying that, the man asked his companion to hand over a rope and threw it down like this. But the girl was not a fool, knowing that with their murderous character, once he handed over the camera, he was really not far from death. Self-discipline, after a long time, the girl hung a piece of white paper on the rope. Seeing that there was movement below, the 3 thought that he had compromised and immediately pulled the rope up. When he saw that there was only a piece of white paper at the end, the man subconsciously picked it up, but it was written with a greeting to his mother. Well, if this is the way you want it. Hearing that the man above was already furious, the girl unconsciously flicked the corner of her mouth and then began to observe the surrounding environment. He was ready to set up a home in place.